I remember calling my agents and saying, I think maybe I want to go into, if not retirement, semi-retirement. And, if I can't afford to keep my house, I'll sell my house. I don't know what else to do or where I'll go. Maybe go to New York where I have my closest friends. Well, just out of the blue, I got a call from my agents saying that they had this script of Matlock. So I got a script on a Friday. I loved the script right away. The twist at the end was what got me.
As Kathy Bates considered leaving her career behind, her health was also on her mind. A diabetes diagnosis had given her a jarring wake-up call, reminding her of her family's struggles with the disease. This moment sparked a personal transformation that would lead her down a path of intense self-reflection and discovery.
I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes too, and it runs in my family. I was kind of, clueless about all of it, not thinking about my health too much, and got very, very heavy. And I was terrified. I knew my father passed away from it, one of my sisters dealing with it. So it really scared me straight. And then there was something that my niece told me about. There is a hormone in your stomach called ghrelin. And when you're hungry, it sends a message to your brain saying, I need to eat. So you eat. And then there's a protein in your stomach that then sends a message to the brain when you've had enough. And then you experience an involuntary sigh, like, and that means you're full. You need to stop. And then you wait for about 5-10 minutes, and lo and behold, you're not hungry anymore. And so I started doing that, and then I started losing some weight, and I got more excited, and I realized I had control.
Learning to listen to her body's signals brought a new sense of empowerment, but Bates' health challenges didn't end there. After her double mastectomy, she developed lymphedema, a lesser-known condition that affects many cancer survivors. From the start, she found herself battling symptoms that became part of her daily reality.
After my double mastectomy, which was a couple of years ago, I developed lymphedema, and I began to feel symptoms just as soon as I woke up from the operation in the hospital. I had seen someone with advanced lymphedema who didn't take care of it, and the toxins were oozing through the skin. So this was my idea of lymphedema, and I was terrified that that would happen to me. I wasn't educated about the stages of lymphedema or anything. The doctors really focus on the cancer. And so they don't talk about the lymphedema before or after. And I realize it's important to, now I realize it's important to be informed about it so that even before the surgery, you can start to have some treatment.
For Bates, learning to cope with lymphedema became as much a part of her journey as managing her diabetes and weight. She felt a newfound motivation to educate others about the struggles that often go unnoticed, especially in the aftermath of a cancer diagnosis. Her personal challenges also highlighted the value of raising awareness about this little-known illness.
I developed a disease called lymphedema after that, and we have a lymphatic system in our body, and that's how cancer cells travel. And that's why surgeons remove lymph nodes, because they're afraid of the cancer spreading to other parts of your body. Because here's the other thing, Renee, that people don't realize. People can swell horribly from this. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people who are suffering with lymphedema, and in fact, we are going to lobby Congress for funds for research this spring.
So big picture, ultimately, what do you hope to accomplish?
There are a lot of things that I want. I would say the first thing is education. The next thing is dollars for research. I want patients to be able to come out of the shadows and receive the kind of care they need. I want people to know what it is so they can get treatment early before it progresses to its most difficult stages.
Through each struggle, Bates found her resolve deepening. Weight loss became more than just a goal. It was a way to regain control of her life. Yet, the journey had its hurdles, with periods where she felt her progress stall, forcing her to dig deeper to push forward.
I lost about 80 pounds, and then the last 15 or 20 is always the hardest. And so when Ozempic came out, I thought, okay, and I went to my doctor. She said, let's give this a go. So I was able to do the last. But I have to impress upon people out there that, you know, this is hard work for me. But I was determined, and that's the word I used for myself. I was absolutely determined that I wasn't going to gain the weight back and that I was going to continue to lose. And that's what I did. It's very hard to say, you've had enough. No, it's like, oh no, I didn't want to have the side-in. I want more, you know, and I pushed the plate away. I put it away, you know, or if someone gave me a box of candies or whatever, I just either gave them to somebody else or just threw them in the trash. It became important to me.
As she lost the weight, Bates began to experience physical freedom she hadn't felt in years. She was now able to fully engage with life on her own terms. When the opportunity to work on Matlock came along, her body was ready for the demanding schedule.
I've lost 100 pounds, and it all just coincided beautifully so that physically I'm capable of doing the show. I don't have to sit down. I can stand up all day long and walk and move and breathe and do so many things that I couldn't do before. And it's the confluence of these things, these opportunities. I can, you know, my wonderful costume designer is here today, Hope Hannafin, and she came out of retirement to work with us. And we were so excited the first fitting we had because she can actually go and buy things off the rack, you know, size 10, you know, and everything looks great and it fits perfectly, and they just have to take the hem up or, you know, this hem or even take it in, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening, you know, and it's just so exciting. And
shopping became a transformative experience for her as well. After years of dressing to hide her body, Bates finally felt comfortable in her own skin, an accomplishment that brought her both joy and a sense of validation.
To Armani, I haven't been there in quite a while, and actually a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, whose husband had very recently passed away, and she had first introduced me to Armani. So, you know, I should charge her. And I was able to go because I had lost some weight and I was just able to fit into, you know, their largest size. And I called her and I said, oh, how are you doing? You know, you want to chat? And she said, no, I'm not really in the mood. You know, they were married many, 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 many years. And she's a dear friend. And so I said, well, I'm going to Armani tomorrow. And then there's this text like about 30 seconds later, what time are you going to be there? We were in tears. You know, because everything I came out in just looked exquisite. And so we were able to share that. And we found the gown that I wore at the Emmys. And she gave me a pair of diamond earrings to wear, loaned me a pair, and is insisting that I take them with me for press in New York. So you can wear them with jeans, you know. And that she was able to be part of that with me that evening, you know, was really special. And I knew I felt great, I looked great, and the pictures on the red carpet were so different from any pictures I'd ever had taken on a red carpet. I just felt so relaxed and ready.
But beneath the joy of her transformation, Bates reflected on the deeper struggles with food that had haunted her. Recognizing these issues became part of her growth, allowing her to address the emotions behind her habits. This self-awareness helped her find a more balanced approach to life and wellness.
It's getting tighter and they go, God, I don't want to go back there anymore. I'd had that experience so many times in my life and just not paid attention to it and said, I don't care, I'm just going to eat whatever I want. So each time that I would get to a certain plateau and then I'd go, okay, I'm ready to go again, you know, and really focus on it. And I used to eat terribly, you know, with burgers and Cokes and pizza and all the kinds of things that weren't healthy for me. And I knew I had to stop eating all of that stuff and go on the medication to get my A1C down. And so that was all a mixture of what happened in terms of getting healthy.
As her self-confidence grew, Bates started to believe that real change was possible. This belief drove her forward, reminding her of the power within herself to redefine her life on her own terms. She expressed how empowering it was to discover that transformation was within reach.
It's so amazing to believe in change in yourself, because when you won't change it, you don't have the faith in yourself. And so when I see people making big ticket changes, it's just so incredible, because we're so capable of such growth and significant breakthroughs. And it's a miracle when we do, and thank God when we get there. And it's okay if it takes time.
Now Bates is committed to maintaining her health and lifestyle changes, knowing the importance of staying active. As she looks forward, she's determined to stay engaged with exercise, which she credits as a key factor in her ability to keep the weight off.
Running back and forth from set has been great. So that's my goal. That's going to be my next thing that I'm worried about, because I won't be on set running back and forth. I want to do everything I can to keep my exercise up, because that certainly has contributed to keeping my weight off. So that's going to be the next challenge.
As she reflects on this journey, Bates finds herself in a place of gratitude. She's thankful for the opportunities she's been given and the second chance she's earned through her hard work. It's a reflection of a career that continues to flourish alongside her personal growth, a balance that Bates deeply appreciates.
I'm so lucky. I'm so glad to have had this opportunity at the end of my career. I think people got confused and thought I was going to retire and everything. What I meant was, how can it get any better? And I don't want it to end. And I love it so much.
For Kathy Bates, this journey has been nothing short of a revelation. Her story is a reminder that even the most challenging transformations can lead to renewed purpose and passion. Her resilience has become a beacon for others facing similar battles, proving that it's never too late to make a change.
And it's a miracle when we do, and thank God when we get there.
Kathy Bates' commitment to change impacts not only her life, but also inspires those following her journey. She reminds us that even in hard times, we can reclaim control and emerge stronger. Have you or someone you know experienced a life-changing transformation? What sparked your journey? Share your stories in the comments below.